10 minutes ago.
I am in Florida.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another beautiful Thursday here at the Hazmat Nation Roundtable. Right now, it is myself and Bob Kosh. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Michael.
We are eagerly awaiting the arrival of Bob Salverson, who is having technical difficulties, but he will be here relatively soon. We've got some fun stuff in the news this week that we definitely want to chat about and find out some of your input and information. We've got a mixed load truck story over from Hazmat Nation that's going to push through. And I would like to talk a little bit more about fentanyl and some of the fentanyl series that we've been doing on the podcast, who our latest guest is going to be for the podcast being released tomorrow. And a little insight as far as what she had as far as what we may see coming in the future.
Wait, we just had Don Johnson join us. Look at that. That's epic, brother. Oh,
love it.
Now it's Lenny Kravitz.
Now it's Lenny Kravitz. I got my vacation face on. So.
That's nice. Right. You're on vacation, right?
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
That's when you don't work, right?
That's what they tell me. I haven't really done. Last night I was up till 3 a.m. Editing a brand new show we're putting out. We had. I don't know if I'm going to give it out. What the hell?
Give it out.
We have 2 hours of Todd Burton.
Shut up. You got Todd on there?
Todd Burton singing karaoke class. No, I'm totally joking. Todd Burton doing a whole class on BHO, and it is the bomb. So I've been really tweaking and editing the whole PowerPoint presentation, all the videos, everything in it, and I've been working on it. I probably put almost 12 hours into it right now, but I think I'll probably give me another 3 hours and I'll have it finished.
You know what? I got to say, between Todd Burton and Jeff Seintek, they are like the yin and yang of Hazmat. I mean, they're there. They are the Wikipedias of Hazmat. The both of them.
They're the pinnacle, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the word? What we got going on tonight?
Well, I was just talking about the lineup for tonight. Kosh has got a bit from Hazmat Nation about a mixed load truck in Jersey, the armpit of the country, and I was talking about the fentanyl series that we've been in the process of going through, and that was my obnoxiously loud phone letting me know that somebody loves me.
That's awesome.
So Kosh, let's hear about what is on your plate.
So, Mike, you're on there as the host, right?
Yes.
So if you could, because we all know that I'm internet technically challenged, and every time I try to share something, I turn into the Green Monster or the Hulk or something. Can you go to Hazmat Nation and pull up the picture of that box truck? Because I think it'd be pertinent. I've tried, and obviously I'm technically challenged. But while you're doing that, it's on their homepage. I'll talk a little bit about it. So there was a box truck that caught fire in Jersey, as Michael said. And as far as how they approached it and whatnot, we won't get into that so much as what are your tactics for that? So remember, a mixed box truck or semi, whatever you want to call it, has multiple placards on it. And in this instance, I think there were 7 or 8. So everybody's going to automatically say, let's go to guide 111 in the ERG, which I don't disagree with. But what is it kind of in my mind, what I'm thinking is, and this is what I tell all the new guys and what I just told the guys in the hazmat class that we're teaching all week. My size up, especially as a company officer, is what do I got? What am I doing? What do I need? When I answer those 3 questions, that should paint a picture to my incident commander of what's happening. So as a first due engine company, forget the hazmat hat for a second. I pull up on the Jersey Turnpike here in this area, I-4, wherever you are, pick a highway, and you see this thing catching on fire. about the last third of the vehicle. And as you're approaching it, you see flames. Now, you can't see, is this a tire fire or brake fire that's now extended into the boxcar? All you see is one side of it and flames coming out. That's the picture, and hopefully we'll get up. If not, picture this, if you will. So that's the story that happened. What's your size up going to be? What are you thinking? Are you in a residential area? Are you in a commercial area? Or are you in a rural area, like, say, the Turnpike in Osceola County? And I threw that out there for all the Osceola County students I had today that might be listening. Little throw to you. That there's nobody around. So you've got a rural area, an urban area. What are you going to do?
Me
first do engine company. What do you got?
All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the topography. And if it is conducive to me pulling the air brake and let it roll to the next county, I will do that first. That's number one. If people are looking, it's frowned on, whatever your SOGs are. Maybe you can't do that. But you know what? See, like a lot of guys are going to say, "Hey, why don't we drop the jacks, the legs, and drive the trailer away?" And I'm pretty sure you can't do that, especially with the load. I think the only one of the containers or transport trucks, and I could be wrong, there's going to be somebody in the crowd that's going to say no, but I think the only one that is actually able to be dropped while completely loaded is the 331 tank, the propanes, or the pressurized vessels. Those things, the tank is actually the structure. Everything else, it kind of sits on like a frame, right?
Right.
I don't know. We actually just gave a class in Connecticut, and somebody had something like this where we didn't know. Remember, Mike? They were talking about like basically a mixed load in a truck, and if we were going to take a 6-foot hook and open up the back.
Right.
And we were considering it because if there's flammable vapors that are above the UEL, we might very well bring it down through it. But what's the other side of it? Like, how are you going to play this?
I think you gotta kind of open it up. I mean, you got to see with what you got. If it's on fire, right? If it's actively on fire, you got to put the fire out, which means going and opening it up like you would anything else.
Right.
Obviously, unless you have explosives potential, like if this thing is, sitting there with orange placards, then maybe we would hold off a little. Again, depending on your exposures. God, there's so many freaking it depends.
We got a good one. We got a good one tonight then.
Yeah. Listen, what's to say we can't open up the side of this thing and blast it from, at the very least, a deck gun, and at most, a ladder truck or a tower ladder, where the truck is, 100 feet away from the tip of the stream, and then that stream can go another 50, 60 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, a 2.5 solid bore will go like 60 feet. So you got to figure the deck gun will probably go 100. Throwing.
Oh, yeah.
You can have a good 200-300 foot safety margin, and then have the operator behind a vehicle. So you could just unload monstrous fury into the back of this thing. And if you're not so worried about the runoff, if we can, do a quick hit and see what we can go, and let's go that way. But I really do think it's more going to depend on your exposures. Like if we're in the middle of farm country,
let it run.
Let it burn. Let it burn. That's what they have insurance for. We're not protecting life. We're not protecting property. That vehicle is already damaged. So what are we doing? If we're in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, we got to try to put this thing out.
Right. That's an interesting.
It is interesting.
And how many people would say, "Oh, it's hazmat"? Here we go. Oh, here we go. I got a picture. This is very rudimentary, but here we go.
Okay. So it's like a standard. It looks like it has a tank under the belly, so it has a refrigerator in it. Right? Do you see that tank? I think there's a tank.
Or is that the next vehicle over?
Oh, it could be underneath it. I could be looking underneath it.
That is we're going to go with that is the next vehicle over. There we go. Now you can see some placards.
Oh yeah.
This is very rudimentary. I apologize, but this is what we're dealing with. And you can see the trailer starting to fail. Look at it's breaking apart.
Yeah, and I could see the placard just by color. It looks like there's a corrosive, a flammable. Looks like there's corrosive and a flammable. That's what it looks like.
You've got yep, that's what you've got. Corrosive, flammable, combustible, and I can't make out the rest. So there you go.
Gosh, how long is that video?
Shit, I just lost it. It was like 7 minutes, I think.
What is it?
I think 6 minutes or something like that.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay,
Got
ready?
it? It's 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
All right. 10 minutes and 6 seconds.
Oh, Derek says 11:56. I'm corrected.
All right, let's see how much of this will play. We are going to be muted while this is playing. Admin video and audio signals are muted on while video mode. Okay, we ready?
Do it.
There you go.
There you go. We're
Where was
back.
that end video button?
It was under the video tab on the right.
Oh, okay. I was talking with the chat room. Can everybody hear us?
Yeah.
We can hear each other during the video. I don't know, but you guys couldn't hear us. Can you hear us now? Before we start yammering for the next 10 minutes and everyone's...
Somebody type yes. If you
No,
can
you
hear
know,
us.
everybody should say.
Yes. Oh, Bill ruined it.
Thank you.
All right. Holy crap. What
That
the
was good.
hell was that?
That was a good one.
Yeah, crazy mixed load. All right, so everybody in the room, initial thoughts. Let's give it out as you were. What you're approaching this in your fire apparatus. What do you want to start doing? What's your initial game plan?
What are firemen doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? I know personally, I think that I might just let that thing burn, and I might, especially seeing the poison placards, assuming they saw it because they were coming in from the street. So I'm hoping they did a 360 of that vehicle as best as possible before they started attacking it. But I think if I would have seen that poison, I may consider doing an evacuation of the area first. Before I do anything else, just have I'm the only crew on scene. I need to worry about getting some people out of the way. There was a residential house literally across the street from that.
Mm-hmm.
Papers, and take pictures for Facebook. That's good.
Video,
I like that.
preferable. Todd, we prefer video.
Yeah, I mean, but the only thing I would modify with that is pull the pin and get that rig out of there. I mean, because that'd be criminal to leave that thing there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, unless the insurance covers it, and then you get a new rig.
And to be honest, yeah, I mean, the wind looked like it was running the correct way. You know what I'm saying? It was running towards the back, the driver's side back. So that would be conducive of driving away that rig. If it was the other way around, I might not send, or I might listen. How many guys in the fire department can wear an SCBA and drive, an 18-wheeler? I'm sure there's not many guys that can actually put it into gear and work a double clutch or whatever the mechanism they use to do. So,
I don't think they double clutch anymore. I think they stopped doing double clutch in like 43.
No, in fire trucks they stopped. In
I did it in 90. Believe it or not.
tractor trailers still have it.
Yeah, you were double clutching a fire truck in the 90s.
Yeah, 1990, old little 2-man FMC in good old Brevard County, double clutching it. It's good times.
Very nice.
Really. So I'm thinking, take my hazmat hat off for a second and pulling up as a first due engine company. What's the first thing I'm looking for? Okay, am I coming up on a hill? Okay, I don't want anything to be rolling back on me. Fuel, the truck, that would be bad. So I got to make sure I approach it from the right side. Do I even have enough water, foam, whatever my decision is to use to even begin an attack on this? Because remember, some of these highways, where are you going to get your water supply? There's not, you go to Baltimore, you go to limited areas here. I don't know if you guys have them in New York, where every 500, 700 feet, there's a connection in the wall on the freeway, which I always thought was weird. It's a freeway, but you pay tolls. So I guess it's not really free. But at any rate, they have these connections, and not everybody has them. So are you thinking water shuttle? Are you thinking, all these different things are going to come into play? Do I even begin something? Now, if I have, our engines have 500 gallons, so some of our newer engines have 750, I might be able to do a quick attack. And while you guys couldn't hear the three of us talking, I might try to lead off with a Pro Pack. And those of you that don't know what a Pro Pack is, it's a 2.5 gallon foam container that hooks up to 1 3/4 or a booster line, and with a nozzle on it, and shoot foam right into the back of it, just because I've got a mixed load. So some of the other discussion was, hey, go right for water. I don't think you'd be wrong with either one. I just think which one's going to be quicker.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. I mean, the poison thing, yeah, it's concerning, But what's worse, having a poison burn? But you know what? The other part of the poison is I don't know if it's a pressurized poison or not. If it's a pressurized poison, those cylinders do not have PRDs or fusible links or discs or anything. They want them to detonate. So, I mean, there's poisons that are solids, there's poisons that are liquids, there's poisons that are compressed. So that would kind of, and there was no indication of that on the outside. So I don't know. I mean, I would say dumping water would be probably my first move. I would take all the information I can get, aka those two placards that had 1263 and whatever the hell the other one was.
1950.
1950. Look them up. It's flammables. All right, they're not like, it's a class 3, so foam would be the better choice, but I can throw immediately thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons at a truck instantly.
Right.
Foam, it's coordinated. I need to make sure I got the right foam. Is it good? I would overwhelm it.
Do you guys have Pro Packs?
I have them at the Volleys. New York City does not have them.
Every engine company we have has 30-gallon onboard foam tank plus 2 5-gallon buckets of foam plus a 2.5-gallon Pro Pack, which is unique. It's not something you typically have. And we have all this foam, and we don't probably use it like we should. And I'll just leave that one right there. I waste management fire.
Interesting.
Don't be hating.
I'm not.
No, that's a really that was an interesting one. I actually got a couple of calls from the guys up in Massachusetts about that one. They're like, "Did you see that video?" And I was like, "No, what video?" And you got to watch this thing. And to be honest with you, that was the first time I saw the video in its entirety, and it's
that's pretty good.
That's a good one to throw on the table and say, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, that's I like it. I don't know how you would end it. I don't know how. I don't know.
Well, it's going to eventually go out at some point.
It will. It'll definitely go out.
I mean, at that point, I would probably take a Sawzall and run it the entire length and flip the whole top off the thing. I'm not walking in there.
No.
Slice the truck right along the deck on both sides, and have a towel ladder lift the thing off, or have a crane, or pull it with ropes and just pull the top off the thing.
Well, let's not get crazy. You said tower ladder. We cannot expose ourselves to such work. We have to be safe for other important ventures.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, it's
water leak.
Exactly, salvage and overall. Unless you guys got anything else, Mike, you had the fentanyl thing.
Yeah, we just wanted to kind of let everybody know that we're continuing on with our fentanyl series, and we have a very special guest on the show tomorrow. She is a world-renowned chemist with the Department of Defense, and she has a pretty different view of fentanyl when it comes to PPE and our actions versus our last interviewee.
Actually,
and
because this
is the third. That's right. So this will be the last two. And the biggest difference from her is that she has a responder's background. So she does have a hazmat responder and a firefighter background, but she is a chemist. So she is looking at this literally from a science point of view. And all of us that sit and say, "Oh, there's not enough information on this, and there's not enough research," and she sits and goes, "Are you freaking kidding me? We've been studying this shit for 20 years."
Wow, that's awesome.
So she got some really good information. So I would really recommend. I think it probably drops tomorrow around noon. Is that correct, Bob?
I'm editing it tonight.
I would go on there and take a listen, and maybe next week we'll talk a little more back and forth about the PPE selection based upon what our 3 interviewees have talked about.
And I just want to bring up, I can't mention where or who, obviously, or whom to be correct English, but there was a potential, they're still investigating, paramedic that was exposed to carfentanil, they think, and I have a friend of mine investigating that to see what exactly happened. So maybe we might have some firsthand on-scene intel in the next week or so.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I don't. I'm not.
I don't know.
Liar, but
we'll see what happens.
I'm calling shenanigans.
You always call shenanigans.
Yeah, and you know what? We're usually pretty spot on. I don't throw the bullshit out flag lightly. But yeah, I got to tell you, having a chemistry background myself, Bob's got a chemistry background. The very first conversation we ever had with somebody about fentanyl was in our firehouse, and it was with an officer, and that officer's opinion was, well, the DEA does it this way, so we're going to do it this way. And me and Bob, in a nanosecond, turned around and went, absolutely not. And we argued.
That doesn't surprise me.
And the very first thing that we sat down, we downloaded pharmaceutical data on skin transmission and the whole 9 yards. Like, we literally sifted through pharmaceutical papers and had substantial information within 10 to 15 minutes that showed that the fentanyl is not as skin absorbable as everybody thinks. And we've been fighting an uphill battle ever since.
We'll duke it out. We're going to duke it out with everybody.
Awesome. Good stuff.
So, all right. Anything from you, Bob?
Me? No, I'm just I'm going to edit that show tonight, and I'm looking forward to finally putting the Todd Burton thing. If I hear his voice anymore, he's got a buttery voice, but it's still, I mean, 10 hours of listening to him yammer on is getting.
Yeah, especially when the show's only 2 hours, which means you've heard him 5 times.
I know every word, every line in his face, every crease in his pants.
And if you've ever edited video, that's not exactly how it works. You listen to the whole thing once, but you're looping like a minute's worth of audio about 30 times before you cut it in exactly the right spot. Yeah. So 10 hours of video editing is that's long. That is long.
It's you know, and it's like it's 2 different audio sources, 1 video source, and 480 slides. So like, slides are got to drop out so you can see him, and they got to come back, and so you can goes back to the slide, and then there's got to be transitions. So you got to like slide from the slide back to him, and then there's oh my god, it was.
Wait, hold that thought. I got to go get another bottle of wine.
Yeah,
it's at least we know he's not taking the BHO. Because if he was, that presentation would be 2 slides, 20 minutes, done. That's it.
So that's it.
He's all good wealth of information.
Oh, yeah. He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic.
For sure.
All right, everybody. That pretty much wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys Nation. If you have any questions or comments, Mr. Kosh, where can they find you?
At hcmtlt@gmail.com or hcmtlt at Twitter.
Fantastic. Bob, where can they reach out to you?
You can find me at Bob at the Hazmat Guys or at the podcast, which you can find anywhere you find your podcasts.
And you can reach me at Mike at the Hazmat Guys. And just putting out there for anybody listening, we are still always looking for authors to contribute to the drill book. So if you are interested in being an author and you want to submit something that is going to hopefully be on the national stage, please send me an email at mike@thehazmatguys.com, and I will set you up as soon as I can. Good night, everybody, and we will see you next Thursday.